Hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade and I hope all of you are doing well today. So for today I am going to show you guys around parts of Valhalla, mostly Torrstead and a new glacier area that we have built. And if you can sense any sort of discomfort in my voice, it's because you're right now also looking at my face, which is a new thing, and this is not going to be a thing for everything going forward from now on. Like speed builds, you will not see my face because I don't feel like getting ready for those, so I'm just lazy. Also, biggest thing is that, for a speed build, it's not really necessary to have my face in there, but I'm also just lazy, so. But yeah, this is me. This is the squirrel. This is the hair. I could do this video without glasses because you're probably going to see the reflection of the screen in my glasses. But I don't want to walk around Valhalla blind because, I can easily take them off. I can still see the screen, of course. My hair is now in my face, so that's fun. Also, there's a very hot light to the left of me, so if my left side just starts melting because you fucker are hotter than the freaking surface of the sun. But yeah, it's not a professional setup, of course. It's just two just normal regular lights. But again, that fucker over there is hotter than the freaking surface of the sun. So that one is, that one also is hot, but that's a little bit farther away, Anyways, so wanted to do a face reveal on video instead of just dropping my face on a stream because, I want attention. I'm a YouTuber, so I like attention, and also just felt a little bit more official too. Before I start going on and on about the face cam and just spending the entirety on just this one view, it's not a bad view. We are right now looking at Torrstead. Also, I am going to be looking slightly below the camera because that's where my screen is. So if I'm not constantly looking at you guys, I'm looking at my screen. If I'm looking that way, I'm looking at my audio, which looks pretty normal right now. If I'm looking slightly below that, then hell starts burning because that's where I see the preview for my face. No. So I'm just going to try and keep my eyes here because that's just no. Alright, let's get moving. So yeah, we're right now at Torrstead. Love the funky little, whenever I build a scarecrow, I want to make them look funky. It looks like he's going to stab me with a stick. Also, the Shrine of the Morrigan is here, so I would say that my statues over time have greatly improved since the Morrigan. And then we have Vindholm, which I'm probably not pronouncing the name correctly or even having the name correctly, because that's why I write stuff down. Poison isn't good with names, even of my own creations. I will forget things. So yeah, that's why writing all this stuff down is essential for me. But we're walking up to Torrstead with a lot of placeholder buildings, or placeholder, or temporary towers, basically, because this tower is going to get changed. Most of the towers with actual buildings on top of them are going to stay, but yeah, a lot of things still need to be worked around in Torrstead. So your guys are right now seeing placeholder buildings basically. Alright, somebody got tortured. I don't know if you guys will hear that. Maybe I will keep the game sound in. But somebody just screamed, which is kind of fitting when it comes to my builds. And just the horror that's usually in them. Anyway, so you have this nice view. Let's forget the junkyard there. But just imagine you're a citizen of Torrstead and this is your view when you walk out of the gates that are not yet there. Again, Torrstead is very much still work in progress, but yeah, there is going to be eventually a massive gate here. And also, yeah, Drew's Brewery is right now like the icon of Torrstead. It's also the highest building, I think, in... Well, yes, it's the highest building. I don't know if it's the highest point in Valhalla yet. Because I think there are mountains that I've built here or terraformed that are higher, but I'm not sure. Because I have the memory of a goldfish. Also, Kane once told me what this was named, or at least I said it kind of looks like those pointy bits for a Ouija board, which I still want to play with because I want to be possessed. Because that just sounds like fun, like projectile vomiting on everyone. Sounds great. But Kane told me what the pointy thing was, and right now I just remember playing chat, but I think that's for a guitar. So Kane, I am sorry that I forgot, but yeah, it looks like the pointy bit for a Ouija board. With like the circle in the middle through which you look or shouldn't look. I don't know. But anyway, so we have the Tavern of the Wooden Tankard to the right of us, and the only reason that that building is named that is because I'm not original with names. So I just built a wooden tankard, and so that's what the tavern was going to be called after. I'm not original with names, I never said I was. When it comes to Torrstead in general, there's still some things that I want to change. Like, I want to fill this area up with like stalls and such, making it feel really cramped. It's already cramped as it is, and that was the look I was going for. Like a cramped, medieval, Norse-inspired town. And yes, I'm saying town, because it's not going to be large enough to be actually a city. Because, well, a city is usually just larger than what Torrstead is going to be. Kayana is going to be a city, but it's not large, but just high. Torrstead is, Torrstead, basically. Anyway, let's move on. So the vibe with Torrstead is really just like trying to get it cramped, but not feeling claustrophobic. Like, that's the one thing that I want to avoid, though. Like, if Torrstead starts to feel claustrophobic, then I've done my job wrong, I would say. Anyway, so Torrstead is more fantasy inspired than the rest of Valhalla. Although there's quite a lot of areas right now in Valhalla that are more fantasy and not as much Norse or Viking. But I try to have like some Viking elements in there, or Norse elements, because Vikings were like a group, which you didn't have to be a Norseman to be a Viking. Like, there's probably a lot of French farmers or English farmers or British farmers that just were like, yeah, let's, like, farming is boring, and, you know, here are these men who are raiding villages. So there's probably also a lot of French and British people that started being Vikings, basically, and raiding and such. But I basically try to have like some elements of Norse architecture in buildings, even though the overall style is fantasy. So you will see houses with like green roofs. You will see, well, just in a way, this is not the greatest building because it's an early building, but there is a little bit of like Norse inspiration, but like the stave churches and such. But don't know what sound my voice just made. I think I needed to burp, but it just came out as just like, I don't know. My voice does weird things sometimes. But yeah, I just generally fantasy in Torrstead, but elements of Norse architecture, whereas in most of the rest of Torrstead or Valhalla, it's kind of the opposite. But yeah, I really like this square though. It's tiny compared to the squares that I've built in Cairn-Shire. But again, Cairn-Shire is supposed to be like wealthy, splendor and all of that. Torrstead is literally just like, it's, I would say, actually the edge of civilization. Like, if you go further beyond Torrstead, towards the glaciers actually, then you just go into forests and maybe the odd farmstead and maybe small village, maybe. But it's mostly just forest, and then you come into the really high hills, which I think would be inhabited by giants and trolls, because that's my fantasy world. Like, giants and trolls, they don't like humans. Also, when it comes to Torrstead, as I said, there's a lot of placeholder buildings because this gate is very old, and I'm going to eventually replace it with a stone gate because right now Torrstead is getting stone walls. But yeah, that might be something to do in a future stream, replacing these gates. Although I want to keep the doors. Like, I like these doors. They are just like, they are crazy in a way. Like, they are very like intricate and such, but I really like the look of it. Anyway, this is probably the best view of Valhalla so far. The Wizard's Tower in the middle, and then all of the nature just sort of going like this around the Wizard's Tower. Of course, having the framing of the gates of Torrstead. I love this view. I also want to redo this bridge one time, because, well, maybe I want to keep it, but it's kind of like it's one of those things where I'm not sure if I want to keep it or if I want to remove it. It's like one of the very first things that we built for Valhalla, and I mean, I like the look of it, but it's I don't know if it fits anymore. That's a lot of times when I'm building, it's just like looking at old builds and they kind of don't fit anymore, because obviously when you're working on a project, after a time you start to improve when it comes to like building skills and, you know, getting the vibe correctly. But at the very first start of any project, it's always kind of just messing around, and sometimes things stick, sometimes things need to be replaced. This bridge is kind of like on the edge, like it's balancing there, and I don't know for sure if I'm going to keep this bridge. I think I've said this in a previous tour already. Again, Valhalla is a work in progress because these are supposed to be very scary tunnels. They're not really scary. I mean, they're scary in how undone they are, or how unfinished they are. I mean, there's grass literally growing out of the pot. And then we have the Ice Farmers Village. So we're right now underneath the Wizard's Tower. So, yeah, the Wizard's Tower recently started work. Recently the Red Pandas started going up to their sleeping area. Beforehand they wouldn't. I think Frontier did a fix on that for some point in the past, for like the climbing things. But we're not going that way because I want to keep this tour short and not 30 minutes. So we're going to the Ice Farmers Village, which right now is called Frostvik. But I was thinking of changing the name to like Spearhead's Point, because well, you have the village here, and then the rest of the land goes like this, and then kind of curves in like that, so it kind of looks like a spear point or spear point. Also, yes, when it comes to bridges, I will make one design and keep using it because I am never inspired to build a bridge. Like for a lot of other buildings, I get random inspiration. Weirdly, a lot of times it's at 3 AM in the morning, which isn't... My sleep schedule is non-existent, basically. But yeah, when it comes to bridges, I just never get inspiration for them. I always need to really work hard to get some inspiration for them. But now that we're in Frostvik or Spearpoint Village, I already hear the penguins. Penguins and flamingos right now, and capuchin monkeys are the most annoying animals, because they are loud, or maybe they're not loud, but they just keep making noise. So I'm usually only close to the penguins when I'm in pause mode. Also, they always continue like breeding like crazy, so I constantly get messages of like, this penguin is pregnant, this penguin is giving birth, this penguin is growing up. When will I get the message of this penguin is shutting the hell up? Yeah. Of course, the most cute thing that I've made, and I punished myself for building it by building a bridge right after. So, Turtle's post office, which has a cute little raven on top of it. And it's so cute, it hurts me. Also, I think the number of penguins has doubled, like since I finished the habitat. You will see some babies bobbing around. Also, there's this weird thing with the water in the penguin habitat where it's just like sometimes it's accessible and sometimes it's not. And I don't know at what state it is now, but it's just like sometimes I load up Valhalla and they can go into the water and you will see them going around there. I'm going to move away now before I start going on a penguin genocide. I really like the Wizard's Tower. It's just like... It's definitely not Norse. Actually, I want to call it Merlin's Tower, but right now it's just so well known as the Wizard's Tower that it's just going to be the Wizard's Tower, but it just works so well. This is probably one of my better builds. Anyway, let's move forward, because otherwise I'm just going to stay here and look at the Wizard's Tower. Well, now it's obscured by a tree. Now it's not. Again, like, it's one of my favorite builds, so I'm just going to keep looking at it. You are running, but you're not running very fast. Like, now you stopped running. You are... Yeah, the stuff in Valhalla is sometimes weird where they start running, but not really. Also, I should probably fix this. Yeah, tours are also a great way of me seeing mistakes or things that I've forgotten to work on. But now we will be able to see if there's penguins going into the water. I don't think so. Well, actually, yes, they are. They just don't want to go down or dive right now. Oh god, I looked at my face again in the preview thing. This is not great. For some reason my teeth look very white. I just noticed that. Also, my forehead just looks huge. It's not as huge in real life. Well, it is huge, it's just not less noticeable probably. Those lights are also really doing it. Making me really shiny. Yeah, I'm going to overanalyze my own face. Thank you, Polar Bear, for just running into the screen. I don't hear the alarm bells anymore, so we're safe with that one right now. Oh, now they all suddenly want to be on screen. You polar bears are like YouTubers. Want attention. Most of the time the animals start pooping on screen or when there's a camera pointed towards them. Or they just run away and... Well, the third option is they don't do anything. Now they might have run away because you can't see them right now. They might be hiding. Anyway, the mess hall for the ice farmers, basically the office, like this is where like the director or like the owner or just the administrative workers for the ice farmers work. So I think the actual miners or ice farmers aren't allowed into the building. Like, while they are allowed into the building, they're just allowed in this side building. Like, the main office is probably off limits to them. Like, you don't want those nasty farmers in your pristine office or your pristine foyer, I think is the right word. Also, I love that air balloon ship. It's definitely not the best ship I've made, or not the most... Well, the ship part isn't the best. I love the air balloon and the entire like apparatus on the ship, but the actual ship itself is kind of clunky. I will say that. But you know, it gets the job done. So I can be overcritical of my work, but at the end of the day, it's like, do I want to spend 1,000 more pieces on a thing that already looks good or works the way it works? So like, I don't really like how it's like very, like, just, there's just something here. But then, can I make this work, or how many pieces is it going to take to make it work? And then it's just like, do I want to do that or leave it as it is because it still works? So that's sometimes like a thing that I have to decide, like, does it work? Yes. Can I make it look better? Maybe. What am I bobbing around on? I was bobbing around on a cart. I wanted to have a build here as well, but I decided against that, to have a little bit more like just nothing here, just so that there's just points in Valhalla where there's not just something big and you can sort of relax your eyes. And then you just move forward, another runestone, because I want to have a lot of those in Valhalla. That feels kind of like a magical place. And then just a rustic farm. Nothing really that like booms in your face, but just enough that there's like something. Like it's still sort of peaceful in the eyes, but it's not, you know, like a lot of my buildings tend to sometimes be a little bit too much boom in your face. So to have also areas where it's just relaxed, peaceful, not huge buildings, that's something that I sometimes still need to learn, especially in Canopshire. But Canopshire, like, that's beyond saving at this point. That's just pure chaos, pure murdery chaos. Also, just how many times have I looked at the camera, or how many times, like how long have I just stared at the screen? Again, this is completely new territory for me, of course, Shooter. You have to forgive me if I just stared at the screen constantly and not looked at the camera once. I do think that I've looked at the camera. Occasionally, at least. But this view is nice. Polar bear's running away. But yeah, so that's going to be the tour of Valhalla. Again, face cam, it's not going to be in every video from now on. Like, it's going to be in tours like this, in streams, mostly because I'm lazy and I don't want to get ready all the time. And well, I can do the classic YouTuber trick and just putting on a nice shirt and having no pants on, or like sweatpants. I mean, you guys don't know if I'm not wearing any pants. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, this is me. This is the Squirrel, this is Poisonblade. And you will see more of this. Maybe not all the time though, because I'm a lazy squirrel. Yeah, let's, you know, cut the video here. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, there is the like and subscribe button somewhere. I don't know where it is with the camera, because I think it's here or there, don't know. But there's a like and subscribe button. There's also a notification button, but before that one starts working, that light will not burn me. So hope you enjoyed today's video, and I wish you all an amazing day. Bye bye.